What's up, guys? Tua here. Got some breaking news for you guys. Although I never break any news, this is the first time for me. Just wanted to say that I agreed to a contract extension with the Miami Dolphins. Just want to give a big shout out to Mr. Ross. Want to thank Chris Grier, Brandon Chore for working endlessly on this deal. Want to thank Mike McDaniel for believing in me. Want to thank all my other coaches as well. I also want to give a big shout out to my teammates for believing in me, for also supporting me throughout this process. And then I also want to thank the fans as well. Fins up.
You serious?
Bam! Talk about making generational money. Wow. Just wow. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Tua Tagovailoa getting a contract extension from the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa is now the fourth highest paid quarterback in the NFL behind Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, and Jordan Love. However, Tua Tagovailoa has failed to win one NFL playoff game in his NFL career. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Will the Dolphins regret giving Tua Tagovailoa a contract extension? Of course, the Miami Dolphins are going to regret giving Tua Tagovailoa that contract extension. Are you kidding me? The Miami Dolphins just massively overpaid Tua Tagovailoa. I understand some people are going to say, oh, but Jordan Love just got a similar deal from the Green Bay Packers. In fact, Jordan Love just got an even higher contract number than Tua Tagovailoa, and you're not seeming to be complaining about that. However, I'm good with the Jordan Love contract because Jordan Love has shown signs he can be an elite quarterback. Jordan Love also has a much stronger arm than Tua Tagovailoa, and more importantly, Jordan Love has shown that he can carry an entire offense around him. You look at how the Green Bay Packers won an NFL playoff game last season, despite having the youngest roster in the NFL to make the playoffs since 1974. Jordan Love's number one wide receiver last year was Christian Watson. I guarantee you guys that almost nobody knows who Christian Watson is outside of Packers fans and people who play fantasy football. I don't even know Christian Watson that well, and I'm a die-hard fan of the NFL. When you look at what Tua Tagovailoa has had to work with, though, he's gotten to work with weapon after weapon, and he's had an elite coaching staff around him, and he has still failed to win an NFL playoff game in 4 seasons. This guy has gotten to start a lot more NFL games than Jordan Love. Even so, Jordan Love has accomplished more than Tua Tagovailoa. I think Jordan Love did deserve the money, though, but that's another discussion for another day. What I am here to talk about, though, is Tua Tagovailoa getting that money and how I have a major problem with that. Tua Tagovailoa is an average quarterback. When you rank quarterbacks from 1 to 32, I have Tua Tagovailoa ranked 15th. That's right, Tua Tagovailoa is closer to being an average quarterback than being a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League. I could name you 14 guys that are better than Tua Tagovailoa. They are Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, and Dak Prescott. That's right, I would take those 14 quarterbacks over Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa has almost never shown signs of being an elite quarterback. Now, I will give Tua Tagovailoa this, though. He has elite accuracy. The guy knows how to throw the football accurately at a high level. I give Tua props for that. But outside of elite accuracy, Tua Tagovailoa doesn't really offer a whole lot to the table. He only looks like a great quarterback statistically because he has Tyreek Hill as his number one wide receiver. Not only does he have Tyreek Hill as his number one wide receiver, he also has Jalen Waddle as his number 2 wide receiver. I mean, holy cow. Any average quarterback could look good with this Miami Dolphins squad. I'm not going to say that a quarterback off the street could look just as good as Tua because that's not factually true. I do think Tua Tagovailoa does offer certain traits that is really impressive, but I don't see anything special in Tua Tagovailoa that makes you think he can carry an entire offense on his back. You look at how Tua Tagovailoa also disappears in big moments. In big games, Tua Tagovailoa always plays small. Tua Tagovailoa is a small quarterback in general. I have a lot of concerns about his size and his lack of arm strength. I understand that Tyreek Hill has made his deep ball look a lot better, but I think any quarterback's arm strength could look good when Tyreek Hill is out there running routes. We all know that Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in the game of football, and that almost every quarterback could succeed with Tyreek Hill as their wide receiver one, because the guy is super fast with the football in his hands and his route running skills are really impressive. Tyreek Hill is a fast guy that can catch the football, which is a rarity to see. A lot of fast wide receivers that you guys see, they struggle to catch the football, not Tyreek Hill. When Tyreek Hill can make elite route running skills happen, the guy always gets wide open and he always makes big plays down the field. When you have a wide receiver like that, any average quarterback could look good. However, what can I tell the difference between an average quarterback and a great quarterback? The average quarterbacks shrink in the biggest moments. The great quarterbacks rise to the occasion when it matters most. And look, I'm not saying that the games in September and October don't matter, but which games matter more at the end of the year? Obviously, the games that are played later in the season matter more, and the Miami Dolphins tend to struggle late in the year against good football teams. Name me one big-time football game that Tua Tagovailoa has won for the Miami Dolphins. I'll wait, because there isn't one, unless you count Tua Tagovailoa beating the Cowboys late in the season at home. But I consider the Cowboys to be frauds and an overrated football team. They, in a way, are the Miami Dolphins of the NFC, so that doesn't really count in my opinion. Was it a nice win? Yes, but does that win make you an elite quarterback? No, it doesn't. Obviously, Tua Tagovailoa doesn't have that it factor because he always disappears in big games. The guy has a noodle arm in cold weather conditions. Whenever the stakes are at its highest, Tua Tagovailoa often plays his worst kind of football. I don't want to see a quarterback like that. When I see that kind of quarterback getting paid $200+ million in that contract, I'm going to have to scream, overpay. That is a terrible contract for the Miami Dolphins to give. Expect the Miami Dolphins to miss the playoffs this year. I fully expect the Dolphins to regress this year with Tua Tagovailoa at the quarterback position. You look at how last year the offensive line was extremely elite for them, and how Tua Tagovailoa had games where he wasn't even touched. When you have an offensive line that is as elite as the Miami Dolphins, yeah, you better be leading the league in passing, especially with all the weapons that you have. You could put Geno Smith on the Miami Dolphins and they would still be playoff contenders. That's how good the Miami Dolphins roster is. And to overpay a quarterback like Tua Tagovailoa, that is not a recipe to sustain success in the long term. Tua Tagovailoa hasn't even won a playoff game. And I know some people are going to say, oh, what about Jordan Love? But Jordan Love won a playoff game already. And the other two guys being paid more than Tua Tagovailoa are Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence. Joe Burrow has taken his team to a Super Bowl. Trevor Lawrence has won a playoff game with the poverty franchise in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Those guys have been consistently good. Well, maybe not in the case of Trevor Lawrence, but that's because he's on a poverty franchise. Tua Tagovailoa is playing on a team where they have Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert, and Jalen Waddle as his primary weapons, alongside with the elite coaching of Mike McDaniel, while Trevor Lawrence's number one wide receiver is Christian Kirk, a wide receiver that most people probably don't even know who he is. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins overpaid Tua Tagovailoa, and the sooner Dolphins fans accept that, the better that it will be for all parties involved. So that is why the Dolphins will regret giving Tua Tagovailoa a massive contract extension, as it will make the Dolphins roster worse moving forward. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinNasTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNasTran and that Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNasTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.